In the small and beautiful village of Kulu, there lived a wealthy and generous man named Osama. Osama was a farmer and trader who also had other businesses. From his teenage age, Osama worked very hard to provide for his widowed mother and younger siblings. Luckily for him, the gods of Kulu blessed everything that his hands touched. When Osama was of marriageable age, he married a very pretty lady named Bose and started a family together. Since Osama loved his brother and sisters so much, he refused to move to a different location after marriage. He remained in their family compound and started his family there. For many years, Osama provided for his extended family and his new family. Even though his brothers and sisters were grown and could make their own money, Osama continued to care for them. Sometimes, if he didn't have much money to spare, he would give his siblings the little he had instead of using it for his family. Osama, my husband, there is something important I would love to discuss with you, Osama's wife, Bose, said one evening while they were lying in bed together. What is it? Osama asked. Please, do not take this the wrong way. I only want to say this because I am your wife, and I want what's good for us, Osama's wife said. Bose, say what you want to say and stop beating around the bush. I had a very long day at the farm and would like to go to bed early, Osama said. My husband, it's about you and your brothers. I understand you are the oldest son, but I think you should let your brothers start fending for themselves. If not, they will become entitled to everything you have, Osama's wife said. I don't understand you. What exactly are you saying? Osama asked. My husband, I'm saying that it's high time we move out of this compound to our own place. I know you are very successful, but ever since I married you, you have been so good to your siblings, and I'm afraid they are beginning to get it the wrong way. The other day, I overheard your younger brother, Jite, saying something horrible about you, and I didn't like what I heard, Osama's wife said. I understand what you are driving at, but I'll stop you now. Look, Bose, I love my family, and I am not complaining about anything I do for them. I don't know why you women are like this. When you see a perfectly happy family, you want to destroy it. Osama growled. No dear, that was not what I meant. I'm only saying we should move out of here to another location so you can buy your own land and build your own house. I know you built all the houses in this compound, but any of your brothers can claim it. We have a son now, and I want him to have security when he grows up, Bose said. Look, woman, you will not be the one to bring division into this family. Did I complain about where I am living? I am happy spending time with my brothers here, and you are trying to separate me from them. Listen to me attentively. If this was your plan from the beginning, then you have failed woefully, Osama growled. My husband, I didn't mean it like that. You are misunderstanding me. I was only suggesting what I thought would be beneficial to us, Bose said. Please keep your suggestions to yourself. I never want to hear you say something like this again. I bought this land with my hard-earned money and built the houses on it so it could keep my family and me close. If you think you will not cope with the arrangement, then you can leave. I do not want a woman who will bring division in my family, Osama said. Osama, it has not gotten to that. There's no problem. I will not mention this again. But I hope you come to your senses one day and see that your brothers do not love you as much as you think, Bose said. It is very obvious that you do not want me to sleep in this house today. Since that is your plan, I will go to my brother's house and rest. At least he will not lecture me on how to take care of you, Osama yelled, and then he got out of bed and left their house. When Osama left the room, Bose remained in bed and was unable to say a word. In the past, That wasn't the first time Osama had left their house in anger to his brother's house. It was something he did all the time, and if he liked, he would spend more than a day in his brother's house. The following morning around 8 a.m., Osama returned to his house, had his bath, ate breakfast, and left without saying a word to Bosse. From the way he acted, it was very obvious that he was still mad at Bosse, and Bosse knew best not to bother him. Since Bosse was a stay-at-home mom, she stayed at home with their son and did her chores as usual. A few hours after Osama left for the farm, Jite, Osama's immediate younger brother, went to Bosse and confronted her.
You this witch! I don't even know what my brother saw in you to marry you!
Jite yelled at Bosse as soon as he entered their living room.
Jite, what's the meaning of this nonsense?
Bosse yelled at him. Right from the first time Bosse met Jite, she couldn't see through his pretense, and as a result, they didn't like each other. Bosse only pretended to like Jite in Osama's presence, and Jite did the same.
You think Osama will not tell me? For your information, there is nothing my brother has not told me. You want him to stop assisting me, ba? I always knew that you were a witch from the pit of hell. If you weren't, why would you tell a grown man who is not complaining to stop doing what he's doing? I know your plan. You want to channel all of my brother's wealth to you and that miserable son of yours.
Jite growled.
Jite, it is you and your entire generation that is miserable. Look at you, shameless man. Your mates are out there hustling for their families and you are here, sleeping by 1 p.m. Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
Bosse said angrily.
Listen, Bosse. I didn't come here to exchange words with you, mad dog. I came to warn you. And if I were you, I would listen attentively. Let today be the first and the last time you ever mention my name to your husband or even suggest anything to him concerning me.
Jite said.
And if I don't, what will you do? Beat me? Hey!
Bosse laughed.
You should know by now that I am not afraid of you in any way. And I'll never be. Despite everything your brother has done and sacrificed for you, you have the effrontery to go around this village and tell lies about him. Must he kill himself before you see that he has done so much for you?
Bosse yelled.
I have said my own. If you like, listen. If you like, do not. But do not say that I didn't warn you.
Jite said before storming out of Bosse's living room. I don't blame you. I blame Osama for all this. If he had done what he was supposed to do, would you come into my compound and insult me like this? Bosse soliloquized. When Jite left, Bosse had no idea that he had gone straight to Osama's farm to report the incident to Osama. She just thought that he left the compound to cool off somewhere. My husband, you are back early today. Bosse greeted Osama as soon as he entered the compound. She was sitting outside the house, so she spotted him almost immediately.
Bosse, what is the meaning of the rubbish you did today?
Osama growled.
I don't know what you are talking about.
Bosse said in a confused tone.
Is it true that you insulted Jite, my brother, when he came to talk to you this morning after I left?
Osama yelled.
Oh, is this about Jite?
Bosse said.
I didn't insult him, oh. I only told him what he needed to hear.
Bosse added.
You must be very stupid. Is Jite your mate in this compound? Don't you know that he's old enough to be your husband? Even if you do not respect Jite, can't you respect me?
Osama said.
Osama, your brother barged into your house and started insulting me. What was I supposed to do? Clap for him? I don't like what you are doing.
Bosse said.
My friend, will you shut up? Did I ask you to speak? You are very lucky I do not beat women. If not, I would have disciplined you today. Don't you know that if something were to happen to me now, Jite would automatically become your husband and the head of this family?
Osama growled.
If there's anything I cannot and will not tolerate, it is disrespect. Now that you have started with Jite, you will take it to my mother.
Osama added.
My husband, I'm sorry.
I only acted because of the way I felt. Bose apologized.
Let today be the first and the last time this happens. As far as you are under my roof and living with my family members, you have to respect every one of them. If this happens again, you will not like how things will turn out,
Osama said. I have heard. I promise that it will not happen again, Bose said.
Now, when Jite returns, I want you to go and apologize to him. Is that clear?
Osama said. Yes, it is. I will do as you have said, Bose said. Do I go and make your food ready? She added.
Not now. When I'm ready to eat, I'll let you know,
Osama said, and then he walked out on Bose. To avoid any more trouble with her husband, Bose waited outside for Jite to return home. As soon as she saw him entering the compound, she walked to him and apologized.
The only reason I'm letting this go is because I love my brother so much. If you do this again, do not expect me to act so calmly with you,
Jite said. Even though Jite claimed that he had forgiven Bose for what she said to him, he didn't. He was still holding grudges against her, and the only reason he pretended to be calm was because of things he was still getting from Osama. In the years that followed, Osama, Bose and their son continued to live in the family compound, and Osama continued to look after his two younger brothers. During Jite's marriage, Osama was the one who sponsored the wedding. Jite claimed he had no money and deliberately allowed Osama to handle all the financial responsibilities. After Jite got married, he didn't move to a different compound. He started his family in the same compound and continued to manipulate Osama into doing the things he wanted. For almost 7 years after Jite got married, Osama happily carried the weight of his extended family's responsibilities until something very unexpected happened. One day, Osama's 4-year-old daughter was playing with Jite's 6-year-old son when they suddenly began to fight. Upon hearing the struggle between the two children, Osama went outside to see what was happening, but he caught Jite hitting his daughter aggressively.
Jite, what did she do that you hit her like that?
Osama asked, but Jite ignored him.
Jite, am I not talking to you? What did Rose do that you hit her like that?
Osama asked again.
So I cannot correct her if she does something wrong?
Jite yelled.
She beat my son and left a mark on his arm, so I have to correct her.
Jite growled.
What is the meaning of the nonsense you just said? Jite, 2 little children had a fight and you hit the youngest child because she beat the older one? Is that not madness?
Osama said.
It is you, your stupid wife and all of your children that are mad.
Jite barked and Osama was stunned.
Jite, did you just say that to me?
Osama asked in shock.
Who do you think you are, You are always parading yourself like someone important in this village. Are you the only one who is successful?
Jite's wife cut in. The whole time Jite's wife was in the living room listening to them. She saw that Osama was getting furious. She went outside and yelled at him.
Jite, what's the meaning of the rubbish your wife just said?
Osama said.
It is that your leper wife that is saying rubbish.
Jite answered.
Jite, so it is true. After everything I have done for you,
Osama said.
What have you done that no one has done before? Answer me. You are the one that has a big farm. You still own a provision shop and you still have other businesses. What is it?
Jite barked.
Hey, now I know your true colors. But listen to me very well. The next time you lay a finger on any of my children, you will regret your actions.
Osama said, and then he led his daughter, who was already crying, into his apartment.
Babe, didn't I tell you that your brother was very arrogant? So because you just corrected his children for biting her cousin, that is why he's reminding you of all the things he did for you?
Jite's wife said.
I knew it. He had been pretending this whole time. Can you imagine that he's threatening me because of that small child? I have tolerated enough of his nonsense,
Jite said.
This is what I have been telling you since, but you have been dulling. Isn't he just 4 years older than you? Eh? Will you allow him to talk to you like that and get away with it? If you do, the next time, it will be his wife insulting you with that his bastard son,
Jite's wife said.
So, what do you suggest that I do? Osama is not someone who holds grudges. I am very sure of that,
Jite said.
Oh, please. He has been doing that to fool you. I know people like him very well. You claim that he doesn't hold grudges, yet he remembers everything he did for you,
Jite's wife said.
If you ask me, I would say that this is the perfect time for us to go and see that Baba I told you about. Osama has been showing himself too much in this village. And it's high time we got rid of him,
Jite's wife added.
Get rid of him? Like, kill him?
Jite asked in shock.
I can't kill my brother. What if the gods ask for his blood?
Jite said.
Jite, relax. You have me, so you have nothing to worry about. I only need you to agree to play your part, and that's all. This one you are saying you cannot get rid of your brother. What if he decides to kick you out of this compound tomorrow? What will you do? Or have you forgotten that he owns this land and the houses, and he can decide to do whatever he wants?
Jite's wife said.
You are right. If Osama kicks us out, then we have nowhere else to go. And I do not have any money or business I can fall back on,
Jite said.
Now you are talking, my husband. This is what I have been trying to tell you all these years. You mentioned businesses. Don't you know that as his immediate younger brother, you will take over his farmlands, businesses, and even this compound we live in?
Jite's wife said.
My wife, it's not like I do not like your plan. I do. But my problem is Osama's son. You know that our culture and tradition names a man's son as the heir of all his properties if he dies. What will we do about that?
Jite asked.
You worry too much, my love. That one is not a problem. Once Osama is gone, we will know how to handle that. What we should be worried about is how we will get rid of Osama in the most natural way, so his wife or people do not suspect us,
Jite's wife said.
You are right. The last thing I want is for anyone to suspect us,
Jite said.
So, when will we go and see the powerful Baba you have been talking about?
He added.
We will go there tomorrow. The man is one of the most powerful native doctors in my village, and he will give us exactly what we want,
Jite's wife said.
No problem then. We will leave first thing tomorrow morning,
Jite said. Meanwhile, in Osama's house, Osama was still brooding over everything Jite and his wife had said to him. He even reported everything to Bosse, who was not at home. But Bosse did not say anything.
Woman, is it not you that I'm talking to? Why are you so quiet?
Osama yelled at Bosse when she did not respond the way he had expected. My husband, I do not want to say anything that will cause you and your brothers to separate or cause more issues. Maybe they were in a bad mood. That's why they said all those things to you, Bosse said. From the way Bosse responded, it was very obvious that she was mocking her husband.
No, it can't be. That was beyond being in a bad mood. If anyone had told me that Jite would ever say that kind of thing to me, I would not have believed it.
Osama yelled. My husband, you need to calm down. You know Jite has a bad mouth and he can be very abusive at times. Just forget about everything. I'm sure when he realizes his mistake, he will come and apologize, Bosse said.
And what about his wife?
Osama asked. She will come and apologize too. And like you said, the kids were fighting. So every parent will want to protect their child first, Bosse said.
I hope so. If not, I will teach him a lesson he will never forget in this compound.
Osama said. The following morning, Jite, his wife and their son traveled to see the powerful Baba. Jite did not even know that the native doctor was related to his wife. Good afternoon, Baba. Jite's wife smiled as soon as she entered the native doctor's shrine.
My daughter! Is this you?
The native doctor said excitedly.
I thought you had forgotten me in this village.
The native doctor said. Baba, it's not so. You know I live in another village now. That's why you barely see me, Jite's wife said.
You even brought your husband and son. That's really nice of you,
the native doctor said as he held Jite's son. Baba, we came here today because we have a big problem and we need your help, Jite's wife said.
You cannot have a big problem while I'm here. That's an error. What is the problem? Let me solve it and show you that there's nothing the great gods cannot solve,
the native doctor said. Baba, it's my brother-in-law and his wife. You know my husband's brother is wealthy in his own capacity, but he has been rubbing it in our faces too much. He mocks my husband at the slightest provocation, and I cannot deal with it anymore. Whenever the villagers see us, they mock us because of what my brother-in-law has been telling people, Jite's wife said.
That's really bad. Why would he do such a thing?
The native doctor asked. Baba, I don't know. We have tried to talk to him, but he's very arrogant. Right now, he's even threatening to throw us out of the house just because of his little disagreement with his brother, Jite's wife said.
Huh? Is it that serious?
The native doctor asked.
Yes, it's that serious. That is why we came to you, so you can help us,
Jite said.
So, do you want me to make a charm for you so he does everything you tell him to do?
The native doctor asked. No, Baba. I want to get rid of him. If you make a charm for us, his wife might find out and destroy it. But if you help us get rid of him, we will not have any issues in the future. Since he doesn't want us to rest, he should have no rest too, Jite's wife said.
If that is what you want, then there's no problem. How do you want to deal with him? Do you want me to afflict him with an illness or a fast death?
The native doctor asked. If we take the second option, will anyone know that we killed him? Jite's wife asked.
No, no one will know. It will be fast and easy,
the native doctor said.
Okay, let's do that one. If you afflict him with an illness, he might find a solution to it, and we do not want him to squander whatever money he has left to find a solution. We want to take everything,
Jite said.
All right, you have spoken, and the gods have heard. What is your brother's name?
The native doctor asked Jite.
His name is Osama,
Jite answered.
Go home and get ready for a burial. In 3 days, the deed will be done,
the native doctor said. Thank you so much, Baba. I knew I could count on you, Jite's wife said. The same day after Jite and his wife returned to their house, Osama called for a family meeting to discuss what had happened the previous day. At first, Jite did not want to attend the meeting, but his wife convinced him to attend it. Since Osama's wife was also attending the meeting, Jite did his best to play along so no one would suspect him when something terrible happened to Osama. He even apologized for everything he said to his brother, and he blamed it on his mood. No one knew, but Jite and his wife had already planned what Jite would say so he could win back his brother's heart. And luckily for them, things went according to plan. Sadly, 3 days later, tragedy struck Osama's house. On the morning he died, he was in the living room with his wife Bosse when he suddenly spotted a snake in the house.
Bosse, get me a machete immediately,
Osama said as soon as he saw the snake.
Why? What do you need it for?
Bose asked.
Don't you see that snake crawling close to that wall?
Osama said, pointing to a wall. But Bose could not see any snake.
I do not see anything,
Bose said in a panic. Then she ran into the kitchen to get a cutlass for her husband. But before she returned, something terrible happened. Bose found Osama sitting lifeless on the chair.
Help me! Help me!
Bose screamed. And in the twinkling of an eye, Jite and his wife rushed to her apartment.
Bose, what is the matter?
Jite asked when he saw Osama's lifeless body.
I don't know. I just went into the kitchen and returned to see him like this. He said that he had seen a snake and I went to get a machete for him.
Bose said, crying.
Bose, please, if this is a prank, stop it. What snake? What are you talking about?
Jite yelled.
Jite, I don't know. I'm as confused as you are.
Bose cried.
You have finally killed him, haven't you? I always knew that you never loved my brother. I warned him, but he would not listen. Now see what it has cost him.
Jite said.
Jite, you know I loved your brother so much and I would never do anything to hurt him. Please don't say that.
Bose cried. My husband, this is not a time to point fingers. We have to inform your family elders so we can start planning his burial, Jite's wife said.
I will go over to our uncle's house and inform them that Osama has passed. As for you, Bose, you have not seen anything yet,
Jite said before leaving Bose's apartment. Because Bose was in a bad mental state, she didn't even notice that Jite and his wife did not shed a tear for her late husband. They were more concerned about the burial preparations and other unnecessary things. Because Osama was a wealthy man, his burial preparations did not take long. He was buried in the family compound 2 weeks after he passed away. 2 days after Osama's burial, Jite and his wife tried to kick Bose and her children out of the family compound.
Jite, why are you doing this? You know this land and the houses belonged to my husband. So why would you want to kick his children out of his house?
Bose said, crying.
Is that what your useless husband told you? For your information, this land belonged to me and I have the right to do whatever I want with it.
Jite lied.
Jite, you know that is not true. This land is not yours and neither are his farmlands. You have no right to take them from us because Osama has a son and his son is the rightful heir to everything he has.
Bose said,
Look, I give you until evening to get out of this compound. As for those farmlands, I have found a buyer for them and I do not want to see you anywhere near those farmlands.
Jite growled. When Jite told Bose that she had until evening to move out of the house, Bose did not think he was serious until Jite did the unthinkable. That evening, while it was pouring heavily, Jite went to Bose's apartment and together with his wife, he threw Bose's and her children's properties out of the house. In that heavy rain, Bose was forced to pack some of her stuff and she left in tears. About a week after the incident, Bose went to Osama's and Jite's family elders and she reported the incident. When the elders heard what Jite had done, they called for a family meeting, but things did not end well because Jite still insisted that the land and farmlands belonged to him because Osama inherited them from their father and that he didn't purchase any land with his money.
If what you are saying is true, then there is only one way to find out. We will summon Osama from the dead and verify from him,
one of Jite's family elders said.
You want to hire a necromancer from the neighboring village?
Jite asked in shock.
Yes, it is the only way to prove what you are saying. But you need to understand one thing. If we summon your late brother from death and it turns out that you are lying, there will be dire consequences.
One of Jite's family elders said.
What can a dead man possibly do to me? Go ahead, uncle. You can do whatever you want to do. I am not afraid of anything.
Jite bragged. In Kulu village, hiring a necromancer was not something the villagers did all the time because things didn't always end well. Even though Jite knew that his secrets would likely be revealed if Osama was summoned from the dead, he just didn't care. My husband, are you sure this is a good idea? I am afraid because of all the stories I have heard, Jite's wife said when Jite told her about it.
My dear, you have absolutely nothing to be worried about. Those so-called necromancers are fake people. Do you actually believe people can summon the dead? Talk more of hiring a dead man's voice.
Jite said,
Please, go and bring my dinner and don't let their lies spoil your mood.
Jite said. A few days after Jite had that conversation with his wife, a powerful necromancer came from the neighboring village. After everyone gathered, the necromancer began to say some incantations and then he summoned Osama's spirit. While this was happening, Jite didn't take anything seriously until he heard Osama's voice speaking through the necromancer. Without wasting time, Osama's spirit admitted that he bought the family land and the farmlands with his money and not even one belonged to Jite. When Jite heard that, he began to argue and called Osama names while claiming that the necromancer was faking the whole thing. Immediately Jite said that something very unexpected happened. His wife, who was standing beside him, ran mad. And when Jite saw what had happened, he ran mad too and began to confess that he and his wife had plotted and killed Osama.
It was you! We did it! We killed Osama!
When Osama's wife heard that, she began to cry and curse them because she missed her husband so much.
It can never be well with you! You denied me my love! You denied me my Osama! I hate you! Wicked people! Wicked, useless people!
As if running mad was not enough, that same day, Jite and his wife mysteriously fell down and died on the same spot. And when the community heard what they had done, they threw their bodies into the evil forest. As for Osama's wife, after Jite and his wife died, she reclaimed all of her husband's possessions and moved back into the house with her children, where she lived until she grew old. If it weren't for the powerful necromancer they hired, she would not have gotten justice for her husband's untimely demise. The end. Did you enjoy this story? Tell us your favorite part in the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also, do not forget to follow our channel on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.